Hey everybody, this is Mender, and I just wanted to make a really quick tutorial for how to be an evade rapier DPS, mainly for folks who want to join sandworm raids. If you want to join learner groups, the role that has the most spots is the evade rapier role, and it's where a lot of learners end up landing. So I wanted to make a really basic bare bones guide for what you want to do as an evade rapier for anybody that's learning that. The basic role of an evade rapier is going to be to apply bleeds to the target, primarily by casting a complete flurry spell, and that will add the bleed dot that you see ticking right now. There will be a counterpart role called a bleed rapier, and the bleed rapier's job is going to be to consume those bleeds to do a lot of extra damage. If we look at the rapier weapon tree, the evade rapier is going to cast flurry, and this part down here at the bottom, the finalize perk, will apply a bleed at the very last hit of the flurry. Evade rapiers are going to take that. They're also going to take evade and then some other ability. I think like the best damage one is going to be flesh. A good defensive one for learners is going to be riposte. And then on the evade over here, you're going to have the momentum perk, which will let you get a little damage boost after you cast any spell. So you'll be able to thread auto attacks between casting abilities. The bleed rapiers that I was talking about just a minute ago, they're going to run flourish and finish. And what that is going to do is it's a two-part ability that they'll cast. And the second part of flourish and finish is the finish. And it consumes all bleeds on a target and does 150% of the bleed damage instantaneously. So evade rapiers are going to proc as many bleeds as they can. Those bleeds are going to be like 10 to 12 second duration. And the flourish and finish, the bleed rapiers, are going to pop them instantaneously. So we're compressing like 12 seconds worth of bleed damage into a couple seconds. And we're going to do that over and over again. Obviously, having all the auto attacks from flurry and everything else on the rapier adds to your damage as well. But the core concept is put a bleed on for your other bleed rapiers to pop. There's going to be probably about like one bleed rapier for every 5 rapiers you have. Something like that. But the most important part, again, is that you cast a full flurry and that it will put the bleed at the end. An important thing to look out for is that if you interrupt your flurry before you finish it, the bleed will not proc. So if you dodge before it finishes, the bleed doesn't get procced and you don't get that 150% damage on a pop. You can interrupt it with a dodge. You can also cast your evade too soon, so it casts before the last hit of a flurry goes too. So your main rotation is going to be, and this is very basic, this isn't optimal. I'm not a DPS main, so I don't have all the tricks in here. This is just the very basics you want to do. You want to cast flurry, so you get that last hit. Then you want to do an auto, because remember you're going to have momentum, which will give you a little bit of extra damage there. Then you're going to cast evade and quick cancel for a light attack. So you'll see here on the evade ability, it will say, I think it says on the second part of this, light attacks made during evade are performed exceptionally fast. So that means like right as you hit evade, you can hit auto. So like normally evade doesn't do any damage on its own, right? I'll show you that empower in a second. So what you want to do for your evade is just tap evade and light attack, and then you get that exceptionally fast light attack. And you want to kind of do evades basically while you're waiting for the cooldown on your flurry. Depending on what loadout you have, like if you have a nimble coat, you probably only have to do 1, maybe 2 at the max. If you have like a toon leather pants, you probably need to do 2, maybe 3. So you'll do a flurry, hit an auto, and then do the quick auto, and another flurry. It's hard to stay on these little targets, but when you're attacking the worm, it'll be a lot easier to stay on target. So again, the main part is making sure that your flurry finishes all the way through, and then trying to get an auto attack between your evades if you can. Another thing to keep in mind, so I showed you we have this momentum perk, so the light attack after your evade is going to be empowered by 25%, but you're also going to have omnidirectional evade. This perk makes it so that you get empower for, it says 2 seconds, but depending on your setup, it'll be 3 to 4 seconds worth of empower after you cast evade in any direction. So that'll help you keep topped up on your empower, so that you'll be at empower cap once you have, like, you're in Oblivion and you have all your stuff equipped, like honing stones. So you'll see I have these empowers procced after I do an evade. So yeah, that's basically it. You can weave in flesh in like more advanced combos. I'm not going over that, but you can look up videos for that if you want to do a deep dive and start doing super DPS. But again, let your flurry complete, and then do evades until it's back up, and then repeat. And that's how you do pretty decent DPS as an evade rapier in Worm. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope you guys have a great day.